Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Calypso Cigar Review Podcast, episode 28.
28.
And
I used to say that in Spanish,
you
but
used
now
to,
I don't.
but now you're a dick. So 28.
We got no replies.
28. Someone said to do it in Swahili, and you did
And I
it
did it
one
once.
week, but that was it.
I did it once. It's hard to learn Swahili.
I'm going to tell people to get on there and tell you to do it in like Russian.
And I'll be happy to do it.
But
We're at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, and we have the Ezra Zion folks in today.
Doing an Ezra Zion event.
And that's the background noise you hear.
Yep.
People having fun, drinking scotch, smoking Ezra Zion cigars.
Islay Scotch.
I think pizza is on its way.
Islay, sorry. Islay Scotch. Islay.
Like you're about to say, I love
See,
you.
I looked it up. I looked it up online to see how to say it, and I've seen Islay.
And I've seen it all those ways too, but Kirk insisted that it's Isla, and he said he knows more about scotch than us.
Okay, so
right.
Isla.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever, Kirk. So,
Jeez.
As always, we're at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, and today is a giant event that people are just going crazy, and all kinds of cigars getting smoked, and scotch getting drunk, and people getting drunk, and it's a great day. It's a great day to be an American.
If you're in Richardson, Texas, at our shop.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're smoking the Ezra Zion Tantrum limited release. I'll have to, when we have the guys on in our second segment, we'll find out how many boxes, but it wasn't a lot of boxes. It's a very limited supply.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 boxes.
Yep. We're doing a podcast.
Yep, we are
Customers
doing a
asking
podcast.
us what we're doing.
Yep. Have a seat.
Have a seat and pay attention and listen if you want.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy.
I'm with you. Alrighty, so yeah, we're doing the Tantrum, which we both have smoked one. Matt brought us back from the show, but they were in great shape at that point, even though it was a great cigar.
IPCPR show, yep, and it was a great cigar then, and it's a great cigar now. We just barely lit. I'm into the first third.
Just pepper out the wazoo. Wide open cold draw and pepper.
And see, I'm not afraid of that retrohale. It's nice.
No, it's nice. It's an excellent cigar.
One of the few cigars I actually get not only spice, but I get a lot of cocoa in the retrohale, which is nice.
Yeah,
beautiful cigar.
And I hear that he's got a great story as to how he was able to locate the tobacco for this cigar.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for all of the show, but the second segment will be great with the guys from Ezra Zion.
Yep, we're going to have Kyle and Chris in from Ezra Zion on the second part of the show, and they're going to be joining us.
Kyle keeps wanting to bomb us.
Yeah, he keeps trying to jump in there and
podcast bomb us.
Kyle,
Kyle, the mic's on if you want to join. Okay, we're having an impromptu interview with Kyle.
Sorry about that. I said I was going to come in and I was going to segment bomb and jump the gun, and I was joking, but that just happened.
Hey, you're here.
Gentlemen, that just happened.
I just referenced you, so might as well tell us the story about how you came up with this tobacco for that Tantrum.
You going to do that now?
Well, we have
I will save it. You know what?
Matt says there's a great story about the Ezra Zion Company. We got to get into that story.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll let that be a teaser because the story isn't complete without Chris being here as well. Because it's just not. Chris was central to that blend being finalized, and I get to really make fun of him a lot with that story. So I want to make sure he's here so I can throw him under the bus.
Now you guys will have to
he just got me.
Just smacked him.
Yeah, he just smacked me.
You guys fit in perfectly on the show.
That's kind of how we do it.
We kick each other in the balls
all the time,
figuratively.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If they're asking for it, that's just
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, bro code.
That's it, bros.
All right.
Yep.
I'll let you guys be.
Okay, we'll see you in the second segment.
Thank you.
Practice that story. Make sure you guys get on the same page. All right. So you can already tell they're cool dudes.
Yeah,
They're young, they're hip, they're excited about the business.
Yep.
They remind me of Drew Estate 10 years ago.
And Chris has this righteous beard. It's like
it's kind of forked.
It's like a forked devil beard.
You can see on the YouTube, if you're whatever forum you're listening to us on, be sure you go to YouTube and watch it and see the picture of Chris's crazy beard.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a cool beard. I aspire to that beard. My wife won't let me get it that long, though. She'll cut it in the night.
Mine would just look horrible if I tried to do that.
I could probably get away with it, but I work in a bank, so I can't do that crap.
That sucks.
People get scared.
It's because you work for the man.
Yeah, I do work for the man.
The man's always trying to put us down.
The man is trying to put us down, but we're going to drink scotch and smoke
pop
cigars.
our peas because we both popped peas.
Yeah. Well, we got the freaking crazy good mics, and we don't have screens, so we're going to get some screens.
We'll get some screens. Oh, I talked to Pop. He didn't have any. He said he'd try to find some, but he didn't have any on him.
Telling you, I'm going to make some. They're going to be awesome looking. They're going to be pantyhose and wire. It's going to be awesome.
But this Tantrum boy is just putting a crap load of smoke out.
We're going to class it up with the
with the
pantyhose and wire screens.
So I think for the rest of the show, I'm going to start every word with the letter P so we can pop our P's.
No, don't do that.
Okay, I won't.
Pizza guy's here.
The Pizza Dude's
Pizza
here.
Dude. Pizza Dude.
That was the only great line about that movie, The Burbs. Remember that movie, The Burbs?
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Pizza Dude's here.
The Pizza Dude's coming.
I don't know. I liked some of the lines in there. I thought they had some pretty good lines in that.
It was okay. That's just the only one I remember.
I liked Bruce Stern. Come to me. Come to water. And he's like
Yeah, that was funny.
running, trying to get the bees off. And then I like the little chant too. I want to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
Not that we endorse Satan being good or our pal.
That's from a
but that was
movie.
from
I'm
a movie,
quoting
I know.
from Burbs. Yeah.
We might have, a strong right-wing listening group.
I don't think we have strong right-wing listening groups. No, as much as we.
I think more cigar people are right-wing, don't you think?
You really?
Because it's the liberals trying to keep us from smoking.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, left wing, no. Right wing, yes.
They might not want to be right-wing, but the left is forcing them to be right-wing. How's that?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no more politics.
Speaking of wings, I like wings. Wings are good.
Yeah, naked wings.
Naked wing? You like naked wings?
Yeah, because if I'm at home, I'll eat the spicy ones or with the sauce. But when
Yeah.
I'm out in public, I don't like to be messy.
Yeah.
So I don't eat ribs in public, and I don't eat wings with sauce in public.
Oh, I eat rings. I eat wings and ribs like a mofo in public. I don't care.
Well, if I do, they're naked, though.
But they got they give you the little things, the little
Yeah, I go
wet
through-
naps, and you can.
I go
you
through
get 'em.
napkins when I'm eating just a chicken sandwich. I'll go through like 9 napkins.
Yeah, I'm a
Imagine if
napkin guy
eating,
too, yeah.
Whatever.
I'm a multiple napkin user myself. Yeah. So if you
There's a
smoked
great scene on Curb Your Enthusiasm where he's at this Chinese restaurant, and the guy gives him 2 napkins, and he says, "Can I get more napkins?" And he says, "No napkins, 2 napkins." So when the guy's not looking, he takes like 4 or 5.
Really?
And he drives off. Well, the guy realizes he chases him down and calls the cops on him for
napkins,
taking
really?
extra napkins.
Wow. No. What season was that?
I don't remember. I think it was that Seinfeld season.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah, I
I'll have to
think
look
so.
it up. Yeah.
I'll find it. I gave you the whole season.
Yeah, you did. I just haven't watched anything but that Seinfeld episode.
Okay, cool.
I'll catch up.
But so what do you think of the Tantrum so far?
I love it, man. It's a great cigar. It is a little ass kicker, is what I would call it, because it is it's strong, but it's full of flavor.
But not so strong that it blows out your palate. It actually wakes up your palate.
Yeah,
that
for
makes
sure.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle was telling me he had one this morning with his coffee. I could totally see that. I would totally do that as a morning coffee cigar.
I'm not a smoke a mild cigar in the morning guy. I want something to kick my ass.
Something to wake you up. Just
Yeah.
like, whoop,
We have a customer across from us who also smokes the kick your ass stuff.
Yep.
But he likes the big ring gauge kick your ass stuff too.
You a big ring age guy?
What are you smoking? You smoking the Jamie Vu? What are you smoking? You don't know?
Looks like maybe it's the intemperate.
What's he smoking, Kyle? The Eminence?
Eminence, okay.
I haven't had the Eminence yet. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to try one tonight.
We will definitely try one.
Yeah, and maybe we'll review it one day.
Yep. One day in the
So
future.
have you smoked anything new since last time I've spoken with you?
No, it's been just the same old. I smoked my last EP Carrillo short run, 2012.
Yes, and you gave me one.
Yep.
Excellent.
I smoked the last one yesterday.
Oh, man.
So,
My
yep.
birthday was coming up, too, and you smoked the last one.
Aw.
Wah.
It's like the smallest violin in the world right there.
Oh, man. I think I told you I smoked a Cohiba.
Yeah, from the island south of Miami.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where people smoke it, but it's...
If you get it's that's I think the Cuban cigars are much better aged, just because I think they put them out probably when they're not really ready.
The guy told me it was like 2 years age.
Yeah,
so I
but
don't
2
know.
years isn't a whole lot for a Cuban. You need like 6. You need a lot of years for a Cuban really to come into its own. There's very few companies that put out Cuban cigars that are ready to smoke. And Ramon Alonis, one of them.
Yeah.
They put out really good cigars that are ready to smoke. The Partagas shorts are ready to smoke. The San Cristobal de la Habana El Principes are ready to smoke. But if you notice, it's all the smaller ring gauge cigars.
Because I was going to tell you that Partagas Lusitania, not so much.
Yeah.
It definitely needed
Well,
some
the
age.
one that I got it's got some age on it,
that
right?
was 5 years.
Okay, so I still haven't smoked that. I will smoke it soon, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
But
Smoked
I have
one
to put
fresh,
aside,
and
like-
smoked one 2 years later.
I'm gonna have to put aside like 3 hours for that, though, probably, right?
Yeah. I started at the beginning of the Super Bowl, got halfway through the third quarter with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a commitment right there.
It is.
If you got commitment issues, you might have an issue with that cigar. Those Churchills, man, they'll get you.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
think
seen
it's
some of the ones they've been putting
Bigger
out?
than a Churchill. Oh, there's our buddy Chad.
Hey, Yeah, they've been putting out some really, really large cigars lately. I've seen some that are like 10 inches long and stuff. I can't even imagine putting the time in to smoke that amount of a cigar.
No, I'd be ready to smoke something else.
Yeah. It would have to be...
it's kind of like chicks.
Kind of like chicks.
You can only do them so much before you want something new.
Right.
No matter how hot she is, it's so sad. We really do suck as a species.
Yep. Well, there's that old saying that for every beautiful woman, there's some guy out there that's tired of doing her.
Yep.
You know?
I know.
Yep. Which is sad, and you've seen it a million times. You got freaking Hugh Grant cheating on Elizabeth Hurley. She's gorgeous.
Freaking transvestite
whore
prostitute thing. Yeah.
I mean, either my thing on that is obviously Elizabeth Hurley doesn't give head because he wouldn't have gone somewhere else to get that, or she's really teethy at it. One of the two. That's the only thing that would make any sense.
That dude from Def Leppard, their producer guy that was married to Mutt Lange, who was married
Mutt
to
Lange,
Shania Twain,
yep,
leaves her for her secretary, who looked like a toad.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Probably good in the sack. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably the issue. Shania Twain never really moved well on stage anyway, so I kind of figure she doesn't really know what she's doing in the bed. But
but she's got a body, and I could do stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you can't do stuff to her. She's just probably maybe she's a dead fish. I don't know.
Maybe so.
Shania, if you're out there and you're listening, let us test that theory.
Yeah, let us try to prove us wrong.
Yeah,
prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. I'd be happy
Challenge
with the video.
Extended. Man, our last couple episodes, we've just gone down the toilet right off the bat.
It's all your fault. I blame you.
No, last time it was you.
Yeah, it was me last time. Yeah,
well, okay.
You jumped in the gutter with me, though.
Right.
So, but that's okay.
This
is real guy. This is real guys talking. This is what real guys talk about. So hey, there's pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah, there's
the segment
pizza.
needs to end pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to end the segment early so we can get some pizza, and we want to have more time for Chris and Kyle with Ezra Zion. So we're going to cut this a little bit short on the first segment. We'll come back with Chris and Kyle from Ezra Zion.
Car 55, this is dispatch. We have a 211 in progress in your area. Please respond.
Dispatch, this is Car 55. We are in the vicinity and on our way. Did you say this was a 211?
Yes, 211, robbery in progress.
211. That reminds me of that great cigar by Esteban Carreras, the 211. Man, I could go for one of those right now.
Okay, whatever. We have a farmer in the area whose goats are getting stolen. And this is where it gets weird, saying it's a chupacabra.
A chupacabra? Are you kidding me? Man, that's another great cigar by Esteban Carreras.
Whoa, hold on now. Let's keep our focus here. I mean, this guy called in a 187 on his prize-winning goat, Mary.
187? You're killing me here. Yet another great cigar by Esteban Carreras. I just think this guy sounds crazy.
Yeah, you might just want to call him a 5150 and call it a day. You know what I mean?
5150. That's it. You call a paddy wagon. I'm turning around and going to the Calypso Cigar Shop in Richardson for an Esteban Carreras cigar.
Hey, that sounds great. Can I join you?
Absolutely.
Esteban Carreras cigars. It'd be a crime not to smoke them. All right, everybody, we're back for the second segment of the podcast. We're reviewing the Ezra Zion Tantrum at the Ezra Zion event here at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in lovely Richardson, Texas. And we are now joined by Chris Kelly and Kyle Hoover of Ezra Zion.
Thanks for having us, guys. It's a great event tonight. Matt's got a great turnout here, and we're happy to be on the show. Thank you.
Chris is going to talk out there, and I'm going to get really close to the mic because I sound sultry and awesome.
As you can tell, these guys are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And this is our second Ezra Zion review in just, the last 3 weeks. So you guys are really...
we're fans.
Yeah, we're
definitely
fans
fans of your cigars.
Appreciate that
for sure.
We've not done that so close together. We've done multiple cigars, but not that close together.
That just proves that you guys...
I've never sat this close to Kyle before, so...
If you could
not
get
what
your hand
Kyle
off my
said.
leg, that'd probably make this interview go a lot more comfortably.
For you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am now taking a picture of how close they are for the podcast.
Yeah.
So you got to watch it on YouTube to see just how close these guys are.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know what to say to that. I guess the pictures...
We're extreme here, so we're gonna say some things that are...
Yeah, feel free. Language is fine, whatever. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about where Ezra Zion came from and your involvement with such?
Well, the actual company, basically, there's 3 partners in it, and we were cigar smoking buddies. We were like our own little wolf pack.
Yeah.
For a long time, all three of us met at church, and smoked cigars for years together. And noticed that we took the journey of the palate refinement together. You start off smoking everything, and my first cigar was a Swisher Sweet back before I was legal to smoke cigars. But you go through the seasons, the cycles of Swisher Sweets, to Macanudo, and then Punch, and Rockies and
Fuente.
Yeah, and you go through all the general and Altada stuff, and we noticed through the years that as we smoked together, our palates got more and more refined. And not to take away from anybody's cigar. I mean, if people like it, more power to you. But for us, we found ourselves one day smoking nothing but Nicaraguan boutique cigars, high-end Padrones, and that's just, where our palates ended up. And one day I had an idea. I think it was a divine inspiration that for this company. So I talked to Chris, who I affectionately nicknamed the Corojo Cowboy, and which kind of sounded really, really wrong the way I said that. That was like flaming. Anyway,
the Corojo Cowboy.
No, you got to say like the Corojo Cowboy.
Yeah. I think I'm going to stop. I'm going to change that nickname to something way better.
No, it's not. Well, you can say it also cool. You can, the Corojo Cowboy.
Yeah. Sunday. Anyway.
It's all in the delivery.
That's true. But, so I talked to Chris, and our third partner, who's not here tonight, he's out in California, who's the Don Fonseca. And long story short, we talked about it, we prayed about it, and went into this endeavor and really set ourselves to be students of tobacco first. Mm-hmm. And we were very fortunate in that we were able to get meetings and really forge some relationships with some titans in the industry, the Padrones. Pete Johnson met with us a couple times. Manolo Casada, who we make cigars with, our gold line with. And they really gave us good advice. One of the main things was that there's a massive difference between smoking cigars and making cigars. So we really did our due diligence and spent a long time learning tobacco and learning how to blend. And we made some really bad cigars for a long time. Till our first cigar, the Jamais Vu, came out, and we worked on that for 14 months, getting that exactly. Our goal was to get that to be the best cigar we ever had, as naive as that sounds, but it came out to great reviews. It launched our company, and it's the rest is history unfolding every day. So that's how the three of us came together and started this whirlwind adventure.
Well, sounds awesome. Yeah,
it does. Sounds like something I would have wanted to be a part of.
I know, right?
Too bad I didn't go to church with you guys. It's probably too bad I don't.
Membership
go to church,
has its benefits.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. For sure.
Also, then I apologize for mentioning that you can cuss. I didn't know you were.
Oh, hey, no. You know what? I mean, you don't think that we're like that. I mean, it's
obviously you're not prudes. I can tell.
We're not religious. We love God, but I mean,
right.
Chris, a former Marine, he can F-bomb with the best of them.
Yeah.
I just said that. I just put your business on the streets.
Yeah. Because I was going to say earlier, it looked like he was ear fucking you. So.
Oh wow! Man. I was close.
He was foreplaying it at the very least.
We get intimate.
We were dry humping.
There's mid-spoon.
It was awkward.
Mid-spoon.
Big spoon, little spoon.
That's right.
Okay, so we teased this. Give us the history of the Tantrum. Chris was telling you have a great story about how you found the tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. And you're just sitting over there with your beard.
Go ahead and tell them about how you climbed with your bow hiney up in the air to find them bales.
Okay, so there I was.
There he was.
You could tell,
covered in motor oil.
we haven't addressed this. You guys are actually based in Texas, Decatur, Texas.
Yes, we're local. Pretty near. What's so funny, dude?
And the way and Chris gave it away because he said, "Tell them how you found them bales." That was very Texas.
Okay, well tell them where we're at.
We were deep in the bowels of the Aganorson factory down in Nicaragua and Esteli, and I tell you, when you're down there and before we start blending, we like to go through the bales and we like to smoke a little bit of this, smoke a little of that, smoke this leaf, smoke that leaf. And Kyle has this crazy thought that whatever they're not showing us is where the goods are. So they're showing us.
They're trying to dupe the gringos. Messed up.
They're trying to keep the best for themselves, and understandably so. And Eduardo and Paul and Arsenio and Jacinto, all of them down there are just they're prince of men, And so they kept telling us, well, this is the best. This is where it is. This is where you guys should be looking and everything else. And Kyle just doesn't take no for an answer. So what's behind that door? What's behind this bell? What's against the wall? What's back here? And the next thing I know, Kyle's got his arse straight up in the air, climbing over bales of tobacco, and he keeps pointing. He's saying, "What's this down here? What's this down here?" And they kept saying, "No, it's too old, too little. You wouldn't be able to do anything with it. This and that and everything."
And I was like, "I will burn this mother down." That's what I did.
But they didn't understand you because they don't speak English.
I will burn this down.
Fuego.
So yeah, no, we're doing the American Pickers thing, man. We're just crawling all over this tobacco, just all sweaty.
You kind of remind me of them, those guys, actually. You do.
I'm not Frank.
No, you're not Frank.
You're
Mike, and he's Frank. Mike.
You're the bearded charmer. That's what they call it. So yeah, we came across this like absolute way in the back, this neglected 7-year-old Ligero, and the reason it was lost to time was not because of the quality. The quality is outrageously awesome, but it was because there was only a limited amount of it. Mm-hmm. So we smoked this, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, we've got to do something with this. So the Tantrum's interesting in that most cigars are blended from the outside in. You start with the wrapper, and you blend to the wrapper. Well, this cigar was blended from the inside out.
Wow.
We wanted to use this Ligero, and we knew we wanted to do a small format cigar called Tantrum, and we had this concept.
So you already had the name, but you didn't.
Yeah, we had the concept down. And interesting on the concept, if you look at a Tantrum, for those of you who have seen it, it's just this cute little, tiny little 44 by 4.44
box pressed,
semi-box pressed cigar. It's just this cute little thing. And the thought behind it was, our first kids, Chris's kids, him and his wife, they had a daughter first named Claire. My wife Tanya and I, our first child was a daughter named Trinity. So when you become a dad, it just changes your whole life. You take this, you get this little girl, especially, just melts your heart. She just owns you, and you know it, and you just love it. And I mean, you're just so in love with this baby, and everything's awesome, and you're just like, this kid can do no wrong. This is the greatest human that's ever lived, and everything's great until about 3 o'clock in the morning that first night when you bring her home, and she just starts going ballistic. I mean, screaming. You just think, how can that much energy and volume and this riot come out of such a tiny, cute little package? And that's what this cigar is. That's the Tantrum. That's the concept behind it. And so now I can tell my kids, Dad finally named a cigar after you, which they like, because they're always like, name a cigar after me, which my son's name is Asher, so that would be kind of funny.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But that's the concept behind that. So anyway, I kind of bunny trailed there. I digress back to American Pickers in the bales. Go ahead. Popcorn Chris.
Dude, you got all kinds of names for me. You're bringing all kinds of stuff out.
What was the beard one? What was the beard one?
The bearded charmer. No, it's American Pickers. That's what they call Frankie.
That's the
bearded
charmer guy with the
bearded charmer.
That sounds like a good band name, actually.
Actually, as much as I don't like
I wanted
reality
to
shows,
have a band named World's Tallest Midget.
World's Tallest Midget.
That'd be sweet.
That would be. I saw a midget the other day. It was like 6'10". It was weird.
Stuff that only dreams are made of.
Dude, yeah. That's just pure awesome stuff.
It is.
So anyway, I'll tell them about when we finalized the blend, dude, where I kicked you. It was awesome. You tell it so good.
Daggone.
You're good at stuff.
Shot. Chris, quit
This guy over here.
I don't care what people say. You're cool.
Dude, I just got something about being so close to another man's lips. It's kind of freaking me out, to be honest with you. I appreciate y'all having us on the show, but I'm fixing to jump over on one of y'all's mics because this guy's getting way too close.
I have cigar breath.
But it's delicious cigar breath.
Yeah, and it actually smells pretty good. I ain't even lying, and I ain't shy about that.
Don't be scared.
No, the Tantrum, when we were blending it, like Kyle was saying, we took the Ligero and we started working around this, and we were completely coming at it from a totally different direction than traditional blending is. And so, we had blends, and then we came upon this one, and they brought them. They were fresh rolled. I have some back problems, and so it's a little bit difficult for me to stay in one position for too long. And I ended up just kind of leaning up against a corner. And next thing I know, I'm down on my haunches in the corner, and Kyle's kicking me. And he's just like, dude, Chris, you all right? You all right? What's going on? And I look up. I just lost myself in a complete state of euphoria as it comes to the flavor profile that was coming out of the Tantrum. And I just stood up and immediately just started. Many expletives came out. Many
expletives of joy.
Yeah, it was definitely expletives of joy, but it all came out, and I just told him, hey, I'm done. This is it. Arsenio, I turned to him, and I said, roll it. Bring me 10 bundles of this cigar. I'm out. You guys can do the rest of the week. And everybody was pretty surprised about that. And then, just about when that happened, Jacinto, that works for Casa Fernandez, he is actually the one that tends to the farms and, soil samples and make sure that everything's done and everything else. And he's a Cuban, and he's a very stoic gentleman. And he is a gentleman, but he's not one of the most, how could I put it? Yeah, he's not a warm fella.
Stoic.
Yeah.
He's standoffish.
Yeah, very, very classic Cuban-esque. You got to prove yourself before you can be in his presence, and he would commit to talking to you. And so Arsenio, the master blender down there, ended up calling Jacinto over and gave him one of the tantrums and asked him to smoke it. In Spanish, obviously. We didn't understand everything that was going on in that conversation. So Jacinto takes the cigar, and he turns around, he starts walking across the factory floor.
He kind of eyeballed us when he took it like...
Yeah, he was expecting the standard, this is going to be a big pile that I'm putting in my mouth right now, but I'll do it because they're customers here.
Yeah.
And so he starts walking across the factory floor, and I see one plume of smoke come behind him, and he's still walking, and a second plume of smoke come out from, his mouth, and he's still walking. And then on the third plume, he stops, and you literally see his head kind of cocked at a 45-degree angle.
That's always a good sign.
He looks down at the cigar, he turns back around, and he beelines straight for Arsenio. And they start going back and forth in Spanish, and they were way faster than I can understand in Spanish. And all I kept hearing was, no, 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 and they were pointing at us. And Arsenio had told us later that what he is actually saying is there is no way these guys made this cigar. There's no way that these guys could come with this profile the way that you say they did. There is absolutely no way. And Arsenio kept telling him, dude, that's it. They did it. This is their cigar. They blended it, So
I told Jacinto, dude, you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
We're Ezra Zion, brother.
Yes.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, and that's a lie because Jacinto would have gut and hung Kyle from the rafters right there and started
speak English so I could get away with whatever.
drying him out in one of the fermentation rooms or something. He would have been nice and brined and on the rack.
If you have to go, that's
the way to go. Yeah. And so right after he had finished explaining that, Jacinto actually leaned over to us. He smiled. He shook our hands. And for the rest of the trip down there, the guy was he was very warm to us, very open, and we just didn't realize what type of a compliment that was until Arsenio, through a translator, had told us, he doesn't do that. He does not engage the guys. He actually, later on that week, put on a full-blown roast for us and, had a wonderful meal. He just rolled out the red carpet for us. So now we can say that we're friends with Jacinto, even though we don't understand each other all that well. Right. But, I take that we really landed on something good when we got his nod of approval.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Great. What a great story.
No kidding. Yeah.
Well, I'm friends with a lot of women, but I don't understand them either. So.
Yeah. Ditto. I understand my dog more sometimes.
Exactly. Because dogs are like men and cats are like women.
Yeah.
I actually saw a funny quote. I think it was on Twitter. Yeah, I think it was Twitter. It usually is Twitter. Anything profound usually comes from Twitter, but it basically said women, there's a woman tweeting this, which is basically said, we don't know what we want, but we know we want it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up,
Yeah, for sure.
That made total sense.
One of my favorites is if a man says something in a forest and his wife doesn't hear him, is he still wrong? Mm-hmm. And obviously that would be yes. I'm sure.
Yeah, the answer on that is yes. For sure, yes.
I think the more appropriate answer is yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Correct. Well spoken,
Absolutely.
sir. Well spoken. Ezra Zion, what does the name mean to you guys?
The name with Ezra Zion is, it's actually a very personal name, and one when Kyle sat down with us 3 years ago and came up with this crazy idea, when we said, okay, if this is what we're going to do it with excellence. We're going to do it. This is, I like to say it's not just three men in the industry, it's three families. Mm-hmm. The Fonseca family, the Hoover family, and the Kelly family. And so, shortly there before that, Kyle and his wife were pregnant with their second son, and they unfortunately lost their son, Ezra. And so, we honor Ezra by having his name in there. And my wife and I also had our third daughter, Coco Zion, and we lost Coco. And so what we did is we took the name Ezra and Zion and then decided to put those things together. And in the beginning, we just thought it would be a great way to honor our children. Mm-hmm. And we never realized, naively so, that people would actually be inquiring about the name, so much.
Yeah,
and
you have to bring up that story.
the first time that we were inquired of that last year at IPCPR in Orlando, it kind of really took us aback. And kind of rehashing that story and telling that story, we don't want it to come off as a downer or something that would come that direction. We want it to be, it's a way for us to be able to honor them.
Absolutely.
And whether people know that story or they don't know that story, Smoking an Ezra Zion cigar has their names on it, and so they continue to be a part of the company as much as our living children and as much as our wives and each one of us are.
Yeah, I think that's a celebration of that. You know,
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
That's exactly the word
not-
for it.
it's
You know,
not-
the traditional. Our thought originally when we named it Ezra Zion was that the traditional celebration when you have a child is you smoke a cigar. You know,
Yeah,
a real man when he has a child smokes a cigar.
Oh, yeah, of course.
If you're a real man, America. But so for us, it was, you know, knowing or not, anybody that smokes that cigar, it's like a celebration of their life. And like Chris said, we don't want it to be something that's somber or a downer in any way. It is a celebration. So I appreciate you guys asking that. That's very cool.
Well, I think it's a great story. I mean, it's a sad story, but you've turned it around and made it something very positive. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know, and in the family of cigars, you know, as Kyle was saying, the celebration, you know, we smoke cigars when we get that promotion at work. We smoke those cigars when we celebrate a birth of a child. But for those of us that are truly into cigars, you know, you also smoke them during times of contemplation. You smoke them in times of, you know, want and need, and also in times of sorrow. And, you know, shortly after Kyle was, you know, with us during the entire time when we lost Coco at the hospital, and, you know, the very first thing that we did when the three of us got together was, you know, we all cried, but we all smoked cigars. And so we were able to process that.
Yep.
You know, one of the great things about cigars, especially with men, is, you know, you have four men. If the four of us were just sitting here and we didn't have these burning tobacco leaves in our hands right now, we'd probably just be staring at each
We'd
other.
be on our phones.
Yeah, we'd be on our phones. We'd be looking for the
Exactly, yeah.
sports.
Or
We'd be looking
doing
for
something
something else.
destructive, you know, so, you know, going
Yeah,
out and
exactly.
doing
But as soon
something
as you put, you know, a flaming tobacco leaf in our hands, all of a sudden we become chatty Cathys. We're talking about our life story. We're talking about the highs, the lows, the good times, the bad times. But it absolutely is. Ezra Zion, we want it to be a celebration, and we also want it to be a memorable moment.
Yep.
And so we truly hope that that's what it is when somebody smokes one of our cigars.
Yep.
that's
It's funny
great.
that you mentioned that, because my wife asked me what it was that I liked about him and what it meant to me. And, you know, she has friends over once a month, twice a month. It depends. It really depends on the month. But they have all these girls over. They all bring a bottle of wine. They hang out. They chat. They play cards. They drink wine. And I'm like, okay, you know what you do with your girlfriends with the wine? She's like, yeah. It's that way with cigars with me. Hang out with my guy friends. We all smoke cigars. We hang out. We chat. We have a good time. That's what it is for us. It's a way to. It's a way to bond. It's a way to
camaraderie, man.
Yeah, and you know, BOTLs. I mean, they share cigars all the time. We're trading cigars, and she doesn't understand that either. She's like, "You just bought those, and you're giving like 5 of them away." I'm like, "Yeah, I want this guy to
That's
try
part of
them."
the
You know,
fun, yeah.
that's part of the fun is sharing that experience to somebody else. Like, I really like this. I want you to try it. You haven't tried it. What do you think? Yeah, this is good. Okay, cool. You know, and they pay it forward. It's a big pay it forward thing too.
You know, I heard Michael Herklotz told us one time, you know, people who don't smoke cigars, they don't understand the magic that a cigar is.
Yeah.
You know, and it really is it's a moment.
Yep.
And it's if you're a cigar smoker, and it's interesting because you're passionate about it, which sounds so stupid.
No.
But it's like how people are with they ride Harleys, or if they're horse people, like Chris and his family.
Yep.
It's like
their gun collection.
it becomes a lifestyle.
car,
Yeah, it becomes your thing, and it's you know, you can't smoke too many cigars and drive drunk. I mean, you know, it's a safe, responsible hobby, and I think everybody should do it. I think it's irresponsible to not smoke cigars.
And a lot of studies have shown that cigar smokers live longer because they are taking that time each day to stop and contemplate.
Yep.
And not to be a downer either, but it goes back to something you were saying. My mom passed away in 2007, and I had to meet my stepdad and my brothers. We had to go to the church to set up the preacher for the funeral. And the first place I stopped after meeting with the preacher and everything was right here at Calypso. I didn't work here at the time. And that's what I did. And, you know, the guy at the register who I'd known, he was, you know, the guy always took care of me. Said, "Seem down?" I said, "Yeah, my mom passed." And he goes, "Oh, so is the liquor store your next stop?" I said, "Absolutely." But, you know, it was a good day. I processed things that day. It was a very important day. Yeah. And if it wasn't for a cigar and a beverage, I wouldn't have gotten through that day. It was a tough day.
Well, you know, for me, and probably for everybody, you can't smoke a cigar fast.
No,
you got to slow down. You got to sit down. You got to enjoy it. You got to. I mean, you just got to go into that state.
Yep.
And I think it's good, especially in our culture. You know, in 2013 in modern times, everything is so fast paced and only getting faster. So to have that reprieve, to be able to sit and process, and I mean, it's a healthy thing. I think, you know, from a mental perspective, and I'm not being sarcastic at all. It's good for me to make my brain slow down a little bit and just be like, dude, you just need to chill.
Yep.
Because you are, you're 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And your heart's going to explode in your chest if you don't stop and just relax a little bit, and actually live life.
Yep. Chris's iPhone picturing us or photoing us.
We're posing for a picture.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. And I like to equate cigars. We talk a lot about movies on the podcast. We're both movie fans. And one of the things I said one time was that a cigar is like a movie. It has a beginning, middle, and an end. There's characters within that movie. And if you like that movie, you're going to watch it over and over again.
That's right.
Just like with a cigar. And if you take your time and you enjoy the cigar, you get so much more out of it.
Yep.
You can smoke a cigar fast and like it, but then take your time and smoke it and love it.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, one of the things with Ezra Zion, we made a commitment early on, and we've stuck to our guns in the face of a whole lot of wooing from people in the industry, but we will not sell online. We want this to be a brick and mortar product.
Thank you.
And that's because, number one, brick and mortar shops are the backbone of our industry, but we don't want people to treat it as something the UPS guy drops off.
Yeah,
we want them to go into a humidor.
Your brand if you do that.
We want them to go into a humidor. We want them to talk to a tobacconist. We want them to be directed to our cigar when it fits what they like, their palate, and it's a good marriage between what they like and the cigar that we make, and to be able to sit in a lounge and to have that moment in that environment with other aficionados that are enjoying their cigars too. We don't want to just make cigars. We want to make a moment, an experience for people, and that there's that magic that happens in a cigar lounge, and so that's. There's a practical level, and that we don't want to obviously undercut our price point. We get approached by these guys. If I named them, them, get their magazines or catalogs in the mail, but we don't want that. We don't want the UPS or the FedEx guy dropping off cigars on your front porch. We want you to come and really have a moment in time and just relax and enjoy yourself.
Well, our first Tantrum was that. Matt texted me, and I've worked here 5 years, and I've known him 7, so I've lived through 7 IPCPR shows that he's been to. And he's brought me back stuff, or he's called me and said, hey, you're going to really like this cigar, blah, blah, blah. He sent me a text the last day of the show that said, I can't wait for you to try this cigar. It will blow your mind. And it was the Tantrum. And he said, when is Brandon coming back to the store? And I told him about Friday he was going to be here. He said, I want the 3 of us to sit around and smoke this cigar together because I want to see your expressions. I want to hear your opinions. And so we did. You guys created a moment for us that day.
Yeah,
based on this cigar that we're smoking right now, which, by the way, is just a flavor.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
We smoked a lot of cigars that day. I think we smoked 4.
This was the one that stood out.
It was the one that stood out. Yeah, it really was.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
And that's not blowing smoke, literally or figuratively. That did happen. I can even tell you where we were sitting when we smoked it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I can totally relate to that because the first time we smoked it down in Esteli, Nicaragua, sitting there at the blending table, we had that same, that light bulb went on like, oh my gosh, dude, this is a special cigar.
Yep.
And to go back on that moment when we were blending that, they kept saying like, well, there's only so much of this Ligero. And I was like, it's better that we make a cigar and just say, hey, it's a limited run and have this cigar and this tobacco be able to be experienced by people than for it to just continue to sit back in this barn squirreled away for another 7 years.
Yep,
Let's go make something. This is too good.
You saved its life, really.
Too good to not let people experience. So,
and how many boxes did you make?
1,500 boxes.
1,500, okay.
Yep.
And we got like a fourth of them, I think. Didn't we get
not quite. Pretty close.
Yeah, Matt had said he ordered like 8 boxes, and then on the plane before they took off, he wanted 30 more or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that says a lot.
One of the advantages of being, a small boutique brand that we are, like Kyle said, originally they were saying there's just not enough of it to do anything. If you go with the traditional larger ring gauge or even a Robusto size, you guys wouldn't be able to do anything with it. But being small, being here local, and having the relationship with the factory that we do, as Kyle said, it was great to be able to take this tobacco out, to be able to let everybody else enjoy it the way that we enjoyed it, and we're not. We're not strapped with we need to make 1 million cigars of one particular line, or come out with 15 different Vitolas of that particular blend. And so, that was just one of the great things. It's our first limited release, 1,500 boxes, 28 count boxes, but it's just taken off. It's been a true blessing. We're just completely humbled by the reception that it's had.
And people, because I have to deal with objections on a day-to-day basis with people. And they'll look at it and see it's a 4.5 by 40 or 4.5 by 44. Okay.
44 by 4.44.
Okay.
All fours.
All fours. And kind of
weird
they're
like
but
that.
that's a short smoke for $9.50. And I'll tell them I've been smoking this for you can get a good 50 minutes to an hour out of the smoke if you're smoking it correctly.
If you're smoking it right, yeah.
And $9.50 for 50 minutes of this flavor
Of
is
bliss.
a bargain.
Of absolute bliss. Yeah.
Euphoria.
Yeah, it's a bargain.
It
really
is
a bargain
euphoria. It
cigar.
really is, yeah. So tell us a little bit about the rest of the line. What the Jamais Vu is not a limited release.
No, the other three, we have three other lines out right now. The Jamais Vu, the Eminence, and our Honor series. Those are full production lines. And the Jamais Vu was the first cigar we came out with. And telling the story of going, making bad blends and doing all that. Our goal was, we got to make the best cigar we ever had, and then that's what we'll launch at the show, because it's our first impression. People don't know us, and we're the people we're going to be interacting with at IPCPR obviously is retailers, and they smoke everything. So I was like, here's the deal: we got to make a cigar that we can just hand to somebody and just say, look, I'm not going to try to sit here and pitch you because you're a retailer. I can't BS your palate.
Yep.
You smoke everything.
Yep.
Just smoke it. And we literally day 2 on. You hand someone the cigar the first day, and they kind of, oh, yeah, we'll try it out, and kind of dismissive. But day 2 on, people coming back saying, this is the best cigar I've had at the show. This is the best. I can't remember when I've had a cigar this good. And we had a huge IPCPR launch. That cigar launched our company. And won 2 Cigar of the Year awards, which was just phenomenal. People like, you guys just came out of nowhere. You were overnight success. I'm thinking, you didn't see all the trips and the meetings and the being a tobacco, Padawan basically.
Yeah.
Right.
I was trying to think of a different word. Padawan. Before that, and so that's that cigar, and that's our firstborn, if you will. I mean, they're all our babies, but that's holds a special place because our blood, sweat, and tears really went into that.
Yeah.
So that's that cigar. The next cigar that we came out with, our Honor series, we did that with Manolo Quesada, and it's made in the Plasencia factory where he does his Nicaraguan stuff, and that's got a sun-grown Habana wrapper on it. That came out the end of 2012. And also won a Cigar of the Year award, to our surprise and our pleasure. And so we had 2 blends out and 3 #1 Cigar of the Year awards, and we were we were
pretty
stoked.
good ratio.
Yeah. So you heard about the Tantrum, the Eminence. We love San Andreas wrapper, and everything else that we make is Nicaraguan puro. I'm white, so I say puro, and right.
Yep.
And so we wanted to, it's all Nicaraguan except for that Mexican San Andreas wrapper. But I love San Andreas tobacco, so we wanted to do it different. San Andreas has that dry, earthy quality, but we wanted to make something that didn't taste like every other San Andreas cigar. So that cigar, I'm actually smoking it right now, has a lot of earth.
Can I get one later?
earthiness.
I haven't had that one yet.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
like to try it too. Yeah,
Absolutely. But it has earthiness of the San Andreas, but it's complemented by a lot of sweetness, molasses flavor, some brown sugar, vanilla, some subtle spice. It's an intensely complex cigar. It's my favorite blend that we've ever done. Chris is the Tantrum. They're all phenomenal, but I think I'm emotionally invested in that cigar because San Andreas is just such a bear to have to try to blend.
Right.
It just dominates blends. It kills all the other flavors. All you taste is San Andreas, and to get all the dials tuned just right to get that blend balanced and flavorful, and it'll get to be a flavor bomb as well, which is what we want all our cigars to be, full of flavor. Because to us, a bland cigar is worse than even a bad cigar, because you keep smoking it thinking, it'll pick up, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and then you waste your life. You're thinking, dude, you tricked me. You bland cigar, you freaking tricked me. If it's bad, I know it out the gate. I can put it down and get something good.
Right.
But a bland cigar, it's like, dude, you.
Yeah, you make that mistake once though. That's the good thing about it.
I hate that.
Yeah.
So those are the lines we have out now. We have another line that's coming out, which is also San Andreas wrap cigar. I told you we like San Andreas, but that will come out.
What do you think of San Andreas?
Down the road.
What do you think of that San Andreas wrapper?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a fan.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure our listeners understood that. Yeah.
So San Andreas, good.
Yeah. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I like San Andreas.
But
I like it a lot.
hey, we like Corojo.
Yeah.
That Tantrum's got a vintage Corojo wrapper on
Love
it.
Corojo.
Stood up to all the hair that's in that. It's a very special wrapper as well. There's we get access to a lot of really great tobaccos that a company our size really shouldn't get access to. So we've been able to go in and really have favor and some open doors that have allowed us to
who could
we think makes some great cigars.
Who could tell you guys no? I mean, you guys are positive. You're full of energy.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And even when Kyle gets told no, he's still going to climb with his hiney up. And
that's another
across
reason
the bells.
not to say no.
We just don't take no for an answer. No, I'll burn this mother down.
Plus, you impress the hell out of him, so that helps.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my good looks, Kyle, his tenacity. It all works together. And then Alan just simply looks. You know, he is the most interesting man in the world. You guys have seen that guy on TV and everything else. He's actually his older brother, believe it or not. That guy has been there. He's done that, and he can get more done with just a simple look than what we could ever do with our words or any type of verbiage.
Yeah.
So, is there any stories behind the other names for the cigars?
Well, the Honor is the Reagan series, right?
Yep.
The Reagan is in the Honor series.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. The Jamais Vu. Interesting story about that one. We originally had named that cigar Inception because it was the first cigar of our company and beginning of and all that. And the story we really wanted to tell is not just it's the first cigar, but we want to tell the story of the entrepreneurial spirit of America. I mean, because if you think back to a few years ago when we were blending that and had the idea for that name and all that, the economy and just being it was a down place. We're still obviously in the throes of that. But I mean, it was just in the forefront of everybody's mind. Like, dude, America, we're getting our butt kicked, and we hated that. And so we wanted to really be able to say, hey, you can still with American ingenuity and good old fashioned hard work and just that, that all that attitude, that American thing. You can have the American dream, and so. That's what we wanted to name it, Inception. We wanted to highlight that entrepreneurial spirit that built this country. So that's kind of what we wanted to tell with that cigar. The reason we had to change the name was because we got kind of messed over by the trademark office. Chris dealt with that. I don't know if you want to tell that story or not, but...
Not.
Okay. Oh, that flash
now we'll have
is so
something,
bright.
Now we'll have something to talk to you about the next time.
There you go.
No, well, just in a nutshell, it got duly awarded, and the other company was taken in a direction that we didn't like because we have certain we call it the Ezra Zion standard of quality and all that stuff, and not to disparage anybody, but we wanted to be able to hold to the kind of cigars that we wanted to make. And so we just decided to bite the bullet, rebrand the cigar. The blend is exactly the same. Only thing that's changed is the footer band and the name on the footer band, and so we named it Jamais Vu, which is the opposite of Deja Vu. Deja Vu is obviously you experience something for the first time, but it seems like you've been there before.
Right.
Well, Jamais Vu is something you've experienced before, you know it, but it still feels like the first time. So it kind of tells the story of the rebrand. So,
that's cool. That's way cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Kyle was the one that came up with that name because I tell you what, a former Marine could never come up with something that creative or that artistic.
He's like, let's
Kyle's
call
the artsy-fartsy
let's
of
call
us.
it Inception 2.
Part 2.
Dose.
That's as much French as I know, and apparently Kyle knows a lot more, so he was able to come up with Jamais Vu.
I just jumped on the Googles.
The internets.
See, I got on the internets. On the computer, I got down at the Walmarts.
You got on that World Wide Web thing.
Got on the interwebs.
Interwebs. Yeah, there you go.
Interwebs. My sister is covered in moles.
Moly.
We quote the Blue Collar Tour from time to time on here.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, man.
All the Larry, the Cable Guy fans are like, oh, yeah, Ezra Zion. I like these guys now.
I'm more of a Ron White guy, but I do love Larry as well.
Run right for president.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm coming to the end of mine because I started smoking it really hard.
Yeah, I finished. That was about 40 minutes for me. But yeah, I would have liked 50
That was your
out of
first
it.
cigar of the day, too, though, for you, wasn't it?
No, I had the...
Oh, you didn't get the Jamais Vu.
Yeah. And they're both delicious.
But what's funny is that on the Jamais Vu, it's kind of like Tatuaje, trying to hear people figure out how to pronounce Jamais Vu.
We were saying Jamais Vu.
The Jamais Vu or the Jammiest Vu. I've heard
Jamie Vu.
people say, hey, you got any of those James Vu? I'm like, yeah, right here. Call it whatever you want as long as you buy some.
Yep.
Everybody buy some.
I was saying Jamais Vu. Yep. That's how I was saying it.
Well, guys, thank you so much. You guys are a blast to hang out with. Hope we can visit with you guys again. This was awesome.
Well, hey, we live here, man.
Yeah, so
we live here, so we can come here all the time. It's
it was
cool.
funny. I was coming into work the other day, and you guys were walking around like acting like you owned the place. I'm like, who are these guys?
Shoot, yeah, like we own the place.
They laughed at me. Those Ezra Zion guys. They're like, well, thanks for introducing me. I was sitting there getting ready to tell them get the hell out.
All right, so wait, real quick before we leave, what's the story on the beard?
The beard is there.
Don't look at me.
There is no story on the beard. The beard is just
hobo.
it's just there. Hey,
So-
you know
so
what?
now
That's just Kyle being envious right there, folks. See what it is he's got
Chris
beard
is on hormone
envy
therapy
right now. He's got beard envy right now, and he wishes that he could grow a beard. And so, my beard currently right now is splitting a fork, so it's it's going in two different directions, but it's about a Robusto each way.
Yeah,
It's about a Robusto.
Your beard goes both ways. I agree with that.
I'm so gonna leave you on the side of the road on the way home tonight.
You're messing with the Marine. You know that?
Yeah, he's a Marine.
I know.
So do you trim it to get it like that, or you just
Cut down the middle, or what?
No, it just depends on what my fancy is when I leave the house. It's not trimmed any way like this. It's just simple, just beard wax, just mustache wax, and sometimes I pull it straight down so it looks like I'm a descendant of King Tut, in the Pharaoh or something like that.
Maybe a descendant of Uncle Si.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Hey, that's rule number 1. Hey,
I tell you what, I met Uncle Si at the Texas Motor Speedway when I went there for my last NASCAR race, and he's a good piece of gear.
Is he the Duck Dynasty guy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
oh yes, he is.
I don't watch that, but I hear on the radio station I listen
You
to they
must
talk about
watch.
Duck Dynasty.
they're supposedly a really good show. Yeah.
That's what I hear.
All right, so that ends the second segment of our Ezra Zion Tantrum. So big thanks to Kyle and Chris from Ezra Zion.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. That was fun.
And we are back for the last third of the Ezra Zion Tantrum, and I've actually switched over to the Intemperance?
Eminence.
Eminence. I've switched over to the Eminence.
And you got the last one because you're a jerkwad.
That is
And
me,
so-
the jerkwad.
And so I'm smoking another Jamais Vu.
Jamais vu. It is French.
It's
The name is French.
It is French. It's that time, Brandon.
Oh, yeah, it is. Time for the Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
All right, this week's Esteban Carreras Creature Feature is Splinter.
Splinter from 2008. Stars the lovely and my buddy Jill Wagner.
Stalker.
And I'll explain that. Shea Wiggum, who you said is on Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
And Paulo Costanzo, who was the dorky, nerdy nephew of Joey on the short-lived Friends spinoff, Joey.
Yep.
And this movie really only has 5-6 actors in it total.
Yep.
How would you describe it? It's a parasitic virus
Yep.
that, if you prick your finger with one of the splinters that come out of this thing,
Yeah.
you become infected.
Yeah, it's like a single-cell organism that seeks out heat for its victims, and it basically takes over whatever victim it spikes, and then slowly kind of ingests them from the inside out.
Yep, exactly. Somewhat, it's similar to a zombie movie in a way. I was reading a couple of reviews of it last night, and every one of them said kind of a zombie movie, and it kind of is, because you do become reanimated to a certain degree once it takes over. And
this movie was produced by Mark Cuban,
Mark
who's the
Cuban.
executive producer.
Yep, he and his buddy Todd Wagner, not related to the aforementioned star of the movie. They've put together over 50 movies they've been a part of, and I've seen several of them, and they're all very good movies. And he gets a lot of big name actors for his stuff. I just watched one earlier called Deadfall. I thought was great with Eric Bana and Olivia Wilde. But back to Splinter, it's a couple. They're celebrating their anniversary. Joe Wagner and Paula Costanzo.
Which is an odd couple, by
Yeah.
the way, because he's a total nerd and she's a hot chick.
Hot chick, kick-ass kind of a little bit. You can tell she's got some vigor to her.
Yeah.
She likes the outdoors. He doesn't. He wants to go to a cheap roach-infested motel to have sex. She wanted sex under the stars and to camp out. Well, their tent breaks, so they have to go into town to the motel. The dork wins.
The dork does win, yes.
The dork wins. Along the way, we're introduced to this other couple. Shea Wiggum, and I don't know the other girl's name.
I don't know either.
He's a badass. They're obviously on the lam. They're trying to get to Mexico. This was filmed in Oklahoma, so they were pretty close to Mexico.
Yeah.
Still had to go through the whole state of Texas, but still, they were getting closer. And their car's apparently broken down, so they kind of hijack Wagner and Costanzo's vehicle.
Yep, there's a carjacking.
Yeah. Well,
And the happy couple then is thrust into the situation of horror.
trying to get rid of these creeps. And the chick's cracked out on meth, and she's just weird.
Yep.
And
there's one of the other actors that's in this, actually, the guy that there's always the obligatory how horror movies are, the obligatory beginning scene where someone dies.
Yeah.
The guy in that scene is actually a regular on Breaking Bad.
Oh, he is.
But he's from Fort Worth, so he's a local dude. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
So, yep.
So they run over this creature or a portion of this virus, this parasite, and while trying to change the tire, bad guy pricks his finger. But we don't know. We see it, but
So the creature it's basically the reason it's called Splinter is because the creature's basically got these little spikes that come out of it, and that's how it reaches its next prey.
Yep.
Well, it basically had taken over. I don't know what it was, some sort of rodent or something.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the road. And when they ran over it, it popped their tire.
Yep.
So they had to get out, fix the tire, and then bad guy does the old finger prick. Yeah.
Doesn't tell anybody. So
Nope.
They then proceed to a gas station, which is emptied because the first person who died in the movie was the person who ran the gas station. So now they're in the gas station. This creature starts to attack them. No, the girl gets it.
Yep.
The meth girl gets it.
Well, the meth girl gets killed by the gas station attendant, who's infected.
Right.
She goes to get into the restroom. He's in there all messed up.
Right.
Infects her.
So now they're trapped in this gas station. And it could seem claustrophobic, but it really doesn't because it's well lit. There's windows all around the gas station, so you can see daylight. You can see the outdoors. So it's not a claustrophobic movie, but it all takes place inside this gas station. And, here you think they're going to try to work together at first because they both realize what's going on out there is a lot more important than what's going on in here. And but no, bad guy has to be a prick, And this is where the Paulo Costanzo character, you just want to kill him.
Yeah.
Because here, Jill Wagner's having to take over, and she's trying to be the one that's going to get them out of this situation. And bad guy realizes this, so he takes all his anger out on her, and Costanzo does nothing to help.
Total wuss.
Yeah.
Total wuss guy.
And Matt's doing a drawing, so that'll be him talking in the background.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
so you'd think you would think that the relationship wouldn't work at that point, but they still stay together. There's a little bit of unbelievability there, but the movie's really well made. It's all in-camera effects, so it's all real-time effects. There's not a lot
minimal
of
CGI.
I couldn't think of any really that I saw in there.
Right.
It's all done, on camera, so there's really cool creatures in it, and you don't really get to see a whole lot of them, but it's kind of a nondescript, almost like The Thing.
Yeah.
I would say it's almost like
The Thing. It's very similar to The Thing in that regard.
Yeah.
And somebody just won a big prize.
Cool.
So if you're in the area, you should always stop by our events because you'll win stuff.
Yep, you just want a humidor, I think.
All right, a humidor. Awesome.
Way cool. So this creature just basically gives them a run for their money, and they eventually do work together.
They do have froze because bad guy realizes he's infected now.
Yeah.
And so it's they come up with this pretty clever way to get out of it.
Yeah, there's some really intense moments.
Some good scares.
Very good scares. Yeah.
The scene with the car keys where they're trying to get through there, so with the coat hanger, that was intense.
Frustrating scene.
Yeah, it was. And back to Jill Wagner's character, you feel bad for her because she's scared. She realizes she's the one that has to wear the pants in this thing, but yet you can still see compassion for this dork.
Yeah.
Because she realizes he can't take care of himself.
Yeah, and you can tell that from the way the movie plays out at the beginning, she loves him because he's a dork.
Yeah.
So, he probably respects her as a woman. So
right.
Probably you could see the backstory of she's probably been with some douchebags before. So,
and as all our other movies have been, crazy, horror, stupid, dumb. This was a very solid movie.
Yeah.
Very excellent. Highly rated.
Highly recommend watching Splinter if you haven't seen it. You can probably get it on download.
Yeah, or I first saw it on DVD. Is where I found it. I saw it.
So go to your local video shop and check out Splinter. It is definitely worth a watch. It's got some great performances. The guy from Boardwalk Empire, what's his name?
Shea Wiggum.
Shea Wiggum does a great job as the bad guy, and Paul Costanza does a good job as the wimpy guy that he always could be.
He plays all the time.
Yeah. And Jill Wagner, solid performance. Very believable. Very never a false moment with her.
No, and I've seen her in other things, and she's very believable. She almost steals scenes because she's very natural. I don't even think she has an acting background. I think she just moved to Hollywood and landed the role on Punk'd.
Yep, and she's relegated to Wipeout. So.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah.
Okay, I've called her my buddy, so I have to explain. There was a little story. On Twitter, I had fallen prey to certain celebrities with posts. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to answer Twitter questions. So I tried with several celebrities, got nothing. So Davis, whom you've heard on a previous episode, says, why are you trying? No celebrity's ever going to answer you. And I said, I promise you, I will get a celebrity to answer me on Twitter. I'm going to get a retweet and a reply. Well, I tried a couple other times, nothing. Well, one day in prep of this, I was on YouTube, and I found this song called Jill Wagner Tribute Song. and it had like 21 views, and the video had been up for about 3-4 weeks at the time. So I tweeted her. I said, I wonder if Fat Jill Wagner has seen this tribute song. Well, my Twitter shuts off at midnight. I don't get any notifications at all. So the next morning, I look at my phone. I got nothing. So I'm like, that bitch. I just knew she would do it. Well, then I actually pulled up on Twitter, and I saw her page, and not only did she retweet it, she replied, and then she posted it. And as of yesterday, it's at 520-something views. So it worked for her posting it. And she replied to me that this is rad. So this means I'm kind of linked to her forever, because anytime she mentions that song, who was the one that turned her onto that song? Me. So therefore, we're buddies.
There you go. seven degrees of separation.
That's right, right there. Shut it down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So anyway,
Very
definitely
cool.
see Splinter, and definitely get you an Ezra Zion, Tantrum,
or Shimmy Boo.
Shimmy Boo. What do you think the Eminence so
It's
far?
It's freaking awesome, dude.
It
it's good. Yeah, I would definitely. You should definitely get some of these. They are delicious.
So that ends our Esteban Carreras creature feature.
Esteban Carreras Cigars. Super premium cigars at a great price. They're scary good.
All right.
Well, this has been a fun event.
It has been a fun event. We're actually going to cut this short. I didn't say it's short. It's already an hour. We're going to go ahead and tie it up here and say that you do need to check us out on Podomatic, Spreaker,
iTunes, YouTube,
Facebook us,
Twitter us. Oh, and I have some shout-outs. Give me a second.
Okay. And we want to give a shout-out to Kirk, because Kirk does respond to every episode that we do. So Kirk at
Poolside Cigar Reviews.
Poolside Cigar Reviews. Kirk,
and if you follow us on Twitter, leave us a comment on any of those previous forums we mentioned. We appreciate it, and we'll give you a shout-out. Walter Hunt actually retweeted us on a particular show. Aaron from Blind Man's Puff is now following us on Twitter.
Cool.
And he's been on our show, and we also recommend checking out their website.
Yep, blindmanpuff.com.
Chris Walsh, I don't know who he is, but he's following us on Twitter, and we thank you, Chris. You know who you are. A guy named Cash Ray at Cash Ray Cigar Reviews. Are you familiar with this guy? He's following us. He's retweeted one of our episodes, or commented, one or the other. Sam Morales from Drew Estate. I don't know what he does at Drew Estate, but he's following us.
Yep.
And the great Jose Blanco is following us on Twitter.
Yeah, he's following me too on mine.
He's following my personal Twitter
too.
too.
Yeah. Jose is such a cool dude.
He is. And I love his tweets. I love his tweets.
We need to get him on the show one day for a phone interview or something.
That'd be great.
He's awesome.
That'd be great. So like I said, we will give you a shout out if you comment or like or follow us on Twitter.
And check out Calypso Cigar Review /Podomatic.com, and you can actually go there and leave us email, and we'll be able to respond to your emails there. So check out Podomatic. Just go, if you need to, just go to Podomatic and type in Calypso Cigar Review. It'll take you right to our page. All of the episodes are there. You can listen to them. You can comment there as well. Shoot us those emails if you have any questions for us, and we'll answer them on the air.
Absolutely. This is fun, Brandon.
It's been great. And as always, it's been great smoking with you.